And welcome, folks. Welcome to another Helium Down Under YouTube video. My name is Ian. I'm going to be your host for tonight. Guys, if this is the first time you've dropped into this channel, welcome to yourself. This channel is focused primarily on Helium HNT with a strong flavour to those of us down here in Australia, New Zealand, the great lands down under. So if you want to keep yourself informed by what is happening with Helium HNT and also particularly with the Australian and New Zealand markets, please hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell so that you're informed of the videos as I upload them. And do me a favor, folks, if you find any value in this whatsoever, make sure you hit the like button and also leave any comments to the video. I do read and try and answer every comment that I see on all of the videos, and I'm quite happy to take criticism and quite happy to answer questions that you may find that you have, and I'll do my best to address them. Okay, but what is the topic of today's call? Well, this one's been raised by a few people over the last couple of weeks, and in fact, it's even come up over the last couple of months, and that's price action. What's happening with Helium HNT? Is it going up? Is it going down? Guys, who knows? As I said before, rub that crystal ball. I don't have one. All I'm going to give you is my price prediction based upon what I'm seeing in the charts and a little bit of very basic analysis of trends. But I guess before we get into price action and give you my analysis, I want to just flip back to that big, beautiful map that we call Australia and New Zealand with what is happening here on the charts right now, or not the charts, on the map as far as the growth of helium hotspots in Australia. There have been a few more lights come on, but guys, I once again will stress, like I will do in all calls, is that anytime you are purchasing a hotspot, please ensure that you are purchasing a hotspot that is legal to operate in Australia, and that means that it is part of the AU 915 frequency band. Do not purchase US 915 unless you are absolutely certain that that is a device that will transfer over to the AU 915 band. Now, the good news is most manufacturers do that. However, for the moment, the one company that is really quite reliable in the delivery of hotspots but does not make a hotspot for Australia is Bobcat. And in our big beautiful map here, unfortunately, there have been a few more Bobcat miners that I have noticed coming online. So guys, I stress once again, if you have placed an order with Bobcat, send them an email. I am aware through communication with other members that Bobcat will be producing an Australian version of the Bobcat, of the Helium hotspot miner, sometime in the future, but I don't know what that timeline is. If you have already ordered and you have ordered US 915, send them an email. Tell them that you're in Australia. I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. And they will quite happily put you into the AU 915 waiting list. It will mean that you will be waiting for them to start producing those models. You won't be receiving your legal hotspot for Australia within the next 12 to 20 weeks, which is what they currently claim for if they were producing miners for our country. So please remember, Bobcat's currently not legal in Australia. If you currently are one of the few people who currently have a hotspot in Australia that is Bobcat, guys, please, number one, realize the risks that you are taking financially. You are operating in a realm that is owned by the large telcos. Okay, you are crossing over into Optus and Optus and Vodafone territory. I don't think they're going to be particularly happy to know that your hotspots are interfering with their network, and you will definitely be receiving some sort of notification at some point to cease and desist, and you may even have your units confiscated. Now, they cost you a lot of money. So right now, I guess, what can you do? I would suggest turn your unit off, disconnect it, put it on eBay and sell it to some American for probably 3 times the price that you've purchased it for. It's a win-win situation. Yes, you're delayed on mining more helium HNT, but the fact is you can then place an order with one of the other compliant companies and wait for your orders to arrive. Okay, enough said. I will just, I'll highlight 3 areas very quickly of Australia that are doing sensationally well. The groundwork has started and it's so exciting to watch. Down in South Australia, Okay, in our group down here, we've got Jay and his 3 units. Look at that. They're talking with one another. Brilliant. That's what we like to see. Let's just check the earnings. Now, I will say that the last 48 hours has been incredibly turbulent on the Helium blockchain, and they ceased. They actually put a halt to all of the new blocks being created. So there have been virtually 0 HNT earned by anybody over the last 24 hours. Let's have a look at the rewards here. Let's ignore the last 24 hours, but look at this. 23 plus HNT that has been earned since pretty much the 18th of June. Good level of HNT there. What about our friends up here in Newcastle? Well, Newcastle has got a team, or rather 2 hotspots. I'm led to believe that there is going to be a 3rd hotspot joining this particular network very soon, when Ed Baloo, who is, I introduced his YouTube channel on my last clip. Ed Baloo, he is putting a people's hotspot, which is one of the hotspots that is owned by the people, put in place for the people whilst they wait for their own purchased hotspots to arrive. And as I'm led to believe, it is going to be placed up here in the Newcastle area, and it's in Australia right now. It just hasn't been synced to the blockchain. The group that is most exciting to me as a person that lives in Queensland is our group down here on the Gold Coast. We've got 3 units, and the bit that's most exciting here, if you look at the locations, these things are almost perfectly positioned, guys. They're all about 700 meters apart. You've got this nice little triangle going on there, and they are going to be communicating superbly well. They've only just been synced, so right now earnings are 0, but they're doing super well. Okay, so let's talk about also right now, even though we're all very excited and I'm going to be talking about the price predictions at the moment, we know that getting your hotspot in Australia is incredibly frustrating right now, because there are delays on top of delays on top of delays. I want to show you an article that I pulled up this morning. This is actually on the Wall Street Journal. Okay, this particular article is a couple of days old, but it was the best article that actually laid out what the new problem is to our semiconductors. And this is not just semiconductors that power Helium hotspots. These are semiconductors that are in cars, in all sorts of electronic equipment. Right now, our Helium industry is being crippled through massive delays of the semiconductors, which is just one component sitting within your Helium hotspot, but it is the critical component that makes it all work. And right now there is a massive chip shortage. We all know that, but guys, check this out. Is it bad? Yes, it is, but it may get more worse, because right now Taiwan is going through a once in 100 year drought. Go figure. Can it get any worse? Okay, we've had COVID, now we've got a drought. If you read through the article, you pull it up yourself, the Wall Street Journal, type in chip shortage and drought, and you'll probably find this article here. It was from, when was it from? I'm just trying to find the date. It was about a week ago. There we go, April 16th. But the fact is, right now, water is incredibly important during the semiconductor manufacturing phase, like it is through most manufacturing, and this is one of the major water sources here. Check it out. We know droughts in Australia, guys. We know how crippling they can be, and who would have thought that Taiwan, a place that's normally full of cyclones and, or what do they call them over there? They're typhoons over there in Asia, that they would be facing a drought. Well, unfortunately, they are. It's going to mean even potentially more delays for our hotspots. So guys, get prepared. If your company, whether it be RAK, whether it be Nebra, whether it be Syncrobit, if they're saying right now that they're due to be delivered in July or August, guys, I'm going to predict right now, I'm going to rub that crystal ball again, and I'm going to give you the bad news, just purely to set you up with a level of expectation that is probably consistent with reality. The likelihood is they're going to be another month delayed beyond that. I don't know. Maybe they won't be. Maybe they'll be on time, and if they are, thumbs up. I'm really excited for you and for everybody else. But let's get on to price prediction. So once again, stressing the fact I am not a financial advisor, guys. I am just like you. I am somebody who loves crypto. I love Helium, and this is just all my opinion. We're going to start with the one that rules them all, and that is Bitcoin. It's like the ring out of Lord of the Rings, the one that rules them all. Where Bitcoin goes, everybody else follows. Right now, obviously, going back a few weeks ago, Bitcoin had its fall from grace and everything else followed it. We've had a dip in Helium HNT, we've had a dip in Ethereum, and every other cryptocurrency went with it. The big question now is this dip finished? Is this the start of an extended bear market where the prices are going to come down? Or is it just a pullback and they're likely to bounce up? All just my opinion here, guys. I want to point out a couple of levels of support and resistances, and this is where I believe the Bitcoin is going to be bouncing. And then we're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance, and then we're going to talk about HNT. All right, there are a couple of levels here to look out with. If you've never looked at charts before, this is on TradingView, this is on a weekly level. This is what I like to look at. Zoom out, you get a really good picture of where things are going. Is price going down? Yes, it is. But are we held in right now up by a support level? Yes, we are. This level down here at about $32,000, $32,500 is what I would classify as a support level for Bitcoin right now. Also underneath that, we have got the 50-week moving average. If you notice right down here, the price has come down. It's gone back up. It's come down. It's gone back up. It's come down. It's gone back up. Remember, these are weekly. These are weekly that we're looking at the moment here. These are not hourly candles. These are not daily candles. These are weekly candles. They've come down. It's gone back up. It's come down. It's gone back up. Right now, it has come back down. It is actually looking like it's going to be closing a weekly candle down, well down below what the last few weeks have been. However, it is still above this level here that did act as support on the way up. I believe it will also act at least as temporary support on the way back down. However, I see this as it's an area where Bitcoin is going to come down. It's going to bounce down and around here for the next couple of months is what I suggest, before then start recovering and moving up. It will potentially test up. It may potentially test down, but I do believe that the price will come back and be working between $32,000 and around $40,000, and I believe it will be ranging in there for the next couple of months. If you want to do there are a bunch of YouTube channels out there with obviously people that have got far more knowledge than what I have in charting. Go and follow them if you want any more concrete advice. But as I say, your financial advisor is where you want to go. So Bitcoin. If we agree right now that Bitcoin is likely to range within this range for the next couple of weeks to a month, maybe even couple of months, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. What does this mean to Bitcoin? And this is actually the chart that I'm about to show you, is where I am drawing my bias that HNT is likely to go up. All right, Bitcoin dominance. This top chart here shows Bitcoin dominance as opposed to all other cryptocurrencies, and anything other than Bitcoin is by definition an altcoin. Okay, we were following this trend line here, and we were following this trend line back since November 2017. It came down. It was holding this line as resistance. It broke through. It came back up. It was holding it as support. It came up. It held it as resistance. It broke through. It's come back. It's tested it. It was support. Tested it was support. Tested it was support. Fell through. Now, at some point, it will likely come back up here, and it is going to test it as a level of resistance again. But I don't see that as being something that's going to happen in the foreseeable future. I believe there is more down level to come here than up. But again, just my opinion here. But what I have now down here is the total crypto market cap. This is the area down here. This is the total market cap, which is called total crypto market cap. It shows the level of investment in cryptocurrencies, all cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin and all other cryptos. The one at the top here, total 2, is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So it's removing the big daddy, and it's just the total of everything else. On this chart here, you will notice there are a couple of lines. Now, I'm just going to call them support and resistance lines. I'm not even going to look at where they actually are as far as price points go. Just look at them as a particular point in time and what that was doing to the market at that point. And then you can make an assessment right now. Are we holding in a good place, or are the altcoins likely to go down? I'm going to tell you right now, I believe altcoins are going to go up. HNT is an altcoin, so I think it's going to go up. All right, let's have a look at this. As we were taking our march up, so back in February of this year, we hit a level. That point, a level, and we'll mark that as a level of consistency across the total altcoin market and the altcoins excluding Bitcoin. It held that level there as a level of support. rather as a level of resistance. It broke through that. It then came back down and retested that level, and it became a line of support. And this was across the total crypto market in general. Okay, we went on our big rip-roaring march up into the all-time highs of pretty much every cryptocurrency there is out there. And then we've had our fall from grace. But it's a matter of what I'm drawing my opinion, and my bias is what's happened since that all-time high to where we are right now in relation to lines that have previously been held, or rather were previous support and resistance lines. So let's look down here. This is the total crypto market cap, including Bitcoin. Okay, so we went from our all-time high and we came down and we moved straight through this line that was a previous confirmed support and resistance line on the weekly. And we came back down and we were holding this line down here that was our level of support on the way back up. It held a support again. It went up. It bounced off what was our support, now is resistance, and has come back down. This is a weekly chart. The only problem, or rather worrying thing here, is that from a total crypto market cap is that we look like this week, now we still have how many days, how many hours rather, where are we? Up here. We've still got 19 and a half hours until this weekly candle closes. So there's every probability here, or every chance, and if we were to go back to the Bitcoin right now and we would take it off, all right, so right now we are holding above that. Look at that big wick pushing up. Let's take a quick look at the daily. We're sort of bouncing around down in here now. We are underneath a couple of levels of concern here as far as daily moving averages, so that is a little bit of a concern. But I see that this green support, this line is going to hold a support, and it's going to push up through here and probably bounce around in this channel now for a couple of weeks, like it has been doing ever since we went through that initially on the 19th of May. Let's go back to the weekly chart, and now let's go back to our dominance chart. All right, so we're down here. I believe that the Bitcoin, that the full total market cap is actually going to come back up in this line, and I believe that we are going to be bouncing around within this range here for a while. Remember, this is cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin. Now let's look at cryptocurrencies excluding Bitcoin. So it's taking the big brother out, the big dog, and we're just looking at all of the altcoins. Now let's look at it based on this support line. Bitcoin went, or rather the total market cap went straight through it. The altcoin market did not. It came down and it held that level. It came back up, and right now we are testing that level again. We've been down, we've wicked through it, and we're heading back up. Remember, we've got another 19 odd hours, and it will be interesting to see what happens with the market caps that we have here. I believe that this is going to be a period where altcoins are once again going to show that they are holding a level of support, and I believe that there will be a march back up in this level. Now, we're not talking about hours, minutes, or even days. Remember, this is a weekly candles we're looking at. Let's go to HNT. Let me grab a sip of water. Okay, so here we go on a weekly chart. Remember, these are weekly candles. This level down here at around $11, let's say $11.50. It's actually a little bit less than that, but $11.50. That has been holding now as a level of support. We've punched through it, and ever since we punched through it on the 29th of March, it has come back, tested it, and it is testing it again. It keeps holding as a level of support. Now, there's two ways you could look at this. Essentially, every time a line of support or resistance is basically tested, it weakens that line and has more of a probability of going down. However, when I look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it gives me confidence here that what we have right now is that the HNT price is once again come down, it's tested it, and is right now sitting pretty much as we speak on that line. It's probably a few cents below. If you notice also this yellow line here, this is the 20-week moving average, and right now the 20-week moving average is sitting at about $11.80, and the price as we speak is about $11.30 odd. Now we've still got another 20 odd hours until this candle closes to know where we're going from here. I think based on the strength that we've been showing on these wicks that this is going to continue up. Also, when you look at fundamentals of what is happening with Helium HNT right now, we have just the validators have just been turned on, or rather they haven't been turned on yet, but we are now live with our validators. It's happening. In order to become a validator, you need to stake, goodness, I can't even remember what it was, 10,000 HNT. Essentially, there are a million plus HNT that are right now tied up in validators that are no longer on the market. Each time a hotspot is brought onto the market, there needs to be HNT spent in order to put that onto the market. Every time a device, a sensor, uses the HNT, or rather the Helium network, they need to pay a really small amount for data credits in order to be able to use it. But all of this is, there is a demand for HNT. Okay, it is not a speculative cryptocurrency that has no real use case, yes, like many others out there. This is a cryptocurrency that actually has a true use case in powering the Internet of Things, our network, and I see this as really strong. This trend line here is a trend line that's been in place ever since we broke it, and you could even go down potentially a little bit further and say ever since we created this trend line, and maybe you could even go down and sort of say the trend line started here in the 5th of April. Actually, I'm going to redraw that line just slightly here. I think I put that line on a daily level. Okay, so right now that chart there is pretty well bang on. Is that we have also, just like we have tested this level of support a few times, we have tested this level of resistance. This level of resistance is up there at $18.30 on a weekly level, and this trend line has been tested multiple times ever since the 5th of April when it was the start, and here we are right now in the 21st of June. I think at the very least, guys, at the very least, what is going to happen is that HNT will come back up and test that line again. That is the 10 moving average above that. 10 moving average is still above the 21. When you compare this to Bitcoin, let's just take a look at Bitcoin when it comes to the 20-week, etc. Look how far below Bitcoin is from the 20-week moving average. And we've even had a cross of the 10 through the 21, and we're well below the 10. So right now, Bitcoin is not in a particularly strong area when it comes to having a quick reversal and a bounce back up. Compare that to HNT. Our moving averages are still actually showing on a weekly level that they're orientated correctly. The quick moving average is still sitting well above the slower moving average. Is it tilted down? Yes, it is. That's a little bit concerning, but guys, it's not a concern until it actually happens. So where is the price of HNT going long term? I don't know. I can only actually make a prediction, and I see that the price of HNT, $50, $100 is not out of the question. We've got a halving event coming up. Right now, the halving event, when you look at the Discord and you look at the Facebook groups, a lot of people are looking at the halving event as a negative, because in my opinion here, I believe those people were looking for the fast returns, the quick buck that we saw everybody else that's promoting the Helium hotspots on YouTube. Man, I wish they would shut down all of those Helium hotspot channels that are still talking about people that are earning $100, 150 HNT, per day or more. Can it still happen? Yes, it can, but guys, the days of that sort of earnings are very, very, very limited. If they're still happening, they won't be happening for long. Okay, as you build a strong network, you can still create great income. Just let's go back and have a look again at jumping quarter rate. 23 HNT in 23 HNT since the 18th of June. So like we're talking a week and a bit. Okay, well, I don't even know what that. Maybe that's even 2 weeks. I'm not going to dwell on that. But let's come back to our price of Helium right now. It's $11. Let's just put in a let's do a quick. Where's our calculator here? Nope, that's the calendar, not the calculator. Let's get the right one, Ian. Get my button down there. The calculator. All right. So what had he earned? He'd earned 23. Okay, so 23 times the price of the current Helium, which is $11.20 as we speak right now. So times $11.20. 20 cents. Okay, so that's $257 that this particular hotspot in Adelaide that is on the network right now is earning. Okay, this unit right now is only 3 of them in the network, and he's halfway to covering his hotspot. Let's not look at that's going to be the reality long term, because there are literally hundreds of thousands of new hotspots coming on, and we've got the halving event coming on top of that. Guys, if we can get to a point where realistically we can earn maybe 5 HNT a week on a consistent level, guys, I'm going to be super happy with that, because I'm in this for the long haul. And even if the price of HNT does come down for a short stint down and has another drop down, maybe it comes down and it sort of tests this trend line that's way down the bottom here at $5, guys, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not going to be selling at that level, because I've got complete faith that the price of HNT is going to skyrocket. Internet of Things, guys, it is the next big industry in my opinion. We've had the internet, we've had mobile phones, we've got mobile data. I believe the Internet of Things is going to be a huge industry here in Australia and across the world, and we are primed with what is the world's biggest, or will be the world's biggest IoT network if it's not already, and we are decentralized, which means that there are not the compounding issues that you have from a centralized network with agendas, etc. This is a people-powered network. I've also seen some criticisms in Facebook, on the Facebook group and on the Discord, is saying it's not a people-powered network because Helium are controlling the chips. Well, to a degree, that's true. Will that be the case long term? I don't believe it will, but right now, as a result of the crappy things that some people did right back at the start with cheating the system, Helium have had no choice but to impose the restrictions that we've got in the so that we can all have a network that we can rely on to earn HNT, and I'd much prefer that. So I see, guys, the price of HNT, I suggest that we have hit the bottom for this little bit here. I believe that we are going to come back up and at the very least test this level up here at approximately $13.50. If you notice up here, the 10 moving average, 10 weekly moving average, and the trend line. I will be watching HNT at that level. Let's just skip back to the daily. Okay, I'm going to be watching HNT as we get up around here. There we've got our 20-day moving average. There we've got our trend line. There's our 50-day moving average. Is there a bit of resistance in between us and the price going up? Oh, hell yeah, there is. But I believe that the appetite for this is out there, and I believe that it will do it. But it will jump around a bit up here, but I will be watching it. And if it looks like it's actually going to start showing weakness, primarily in either the Bitcoin price starts to show true weakness, dropping below the level, dropping below and holding below 32,000, or the Bitcoin, the market cap here starts to drop down and actually gets down below this second line that I've drawn on my chart. That's when I will probably start thinking that we're in for a longer haul. But I've got complete confidence, guys, this is going to turn around in the end. That's me rubbing my crystal ball, but that's the Ian crystal ball that I'm happy to rub, but don't take advice from me and base your decisions on that. So, okay, there we go, guys. That's our video for today. How long have I gone? I've gone 28 minutes. I've managed to fit under 30. I was aiming for 20, but I'm a little bit over. Guys, if you've liked today's call, slap a like on it. If you've got comments, positive or negative, stick them into the video. Not only does it help me to know what you want to hear, what you want to see, and how you've enjoyed. Guys, I'm not actually getting paid for this. I'm not being sponsored by anybody. I'm producing these videos because I think that there is a need within our little community down here in Australia to have some local representation that presents Australian-based or Australian-focused content, so we're not busy watching the Americans talk about all the hoo-ha of the thousands of hotspots that they've got and the thousands of dollars that they're earning. Us poor old Aussies down here are fighting tooth and nail to get a hotspot. Stick out the course, guys. If you've got your hotspots on order, keep your order in place. Set your level of expectations at the level and be prepared to adjust that level. I don't know if I've even mentioned it on these calls, guys. My occupation is not a trader. I'm not in technology. I'm actually a firefighter. Okay, I'm probably in one of the most insane industries out there where everybody else is running out of the burning building. Well, guess what? I'm running into the burning building. sort of makes you say, do I really want to take financial advice from this guy for starters? But the thing is, when we go and fight a fire, sometimes we'll start fighting a fire based on certain parameters that we've got. Those parameters change. What do? Do we just keep hammering the same way that we are, or do we step back and go, oh, it's all just too hard? No, we don't. We change our plan and we do what we classify as improvise, adapt, and we do eventually overcome. Guys, right now, Helium Hotspot's hard to come by. We can't change that. All we can do is look for opportunities. Linksdot is one opportunity. When they come on, they have got components on board right now that they have got in their warehouse. They are ready to start manufacturing. How many will they manufacture? I don't know. I'm going to guess, I believe, thinking back to the HIP-19 document, I believe they had enough components on site to manufacture approximately 5,000. But I could be wrong there. Maybe that was only 1,000, could have been 10,000. I don't know. Go back to the HIP document, read it yourself if you're interested. But the fact is, when Linksdot do launch, which I've got confidence that they will eventually get through the process, there will be a window where the company has got components on site to manufacture X amount of components, of which not all will be going to Australia. That's the moment to strike. Get yourself a miner, because those ones will be manufactured and shipped very quickly by comparison to the companies like Nebra, Rack, Syncrobit, who are right now already dealing with a backlog. All just my opinion. There are other manufacturers as well, but if a new one comes up on board, and I'm not just talking about an existing company like Syncrobit that says, oh, guess what? We've been taking orders from everybody else. Now we're going to add an AU 915. Or Bobcat. Hey guys, we're shipping every 12 to 20 weeks. Guess what? We're going to produce an an AU 915 model. Guys, there's already a huge backlog in each of those manufacturers. They add AU 915. Yes, we'll just be sitting in the backlog with everybody else. A brand new distributor like Linksdot or any of the others who are coming on board, if they produce a 915, grab it really quickly, because that's your chance to take decisive action and to do it. Don't think about it very long, because if you've been watching what happened with the long AP sales, which are focused entirely on Europe, okay? They're not even feeding the US market, they're just Europe. They crashed their website. They crashed their website, for goodness sake, selling a Helium hotspot. We're not talking about selling the latest and greatest Apple iPhone that all of the world are watching. We're talking about a little piece of technology that is applicable to a group of people that are focused on crypto. Go figure. All right, guys, that's enough for me today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Slap a like on the video and look out for the next video from Helium Down Under. Have a great day and g'day.